Here 25 map-specific facts in Dead by Daylight. Let's go. On the map, Autohaven Records, you can hear a bell every time you enter and also leave the gas station. Another thing about the Autohaven Records is that you can find body parts across the whole map. You can find arms, legs, torsos, everything that you can imagine. Just look out between the cars, look out in the tires, and you're gonna find that. On the map, the Shattered Square, you can find this well over here. And if you go close to the well and you pay attention to the sound, you can hear an eerie sound play from the well. On Father Campbell's chapel, you can find Maurice, and Maurice is the horse that was pulling the caravan of the clown. Maurice ended up in the entity's realm together with the clown and has sometimes a unique idle animation. Fun fact, when Dredge got released, Maurice was actually removed from that map, and it was said that he ate Maurice. Dead by Daylight also posted this funny picture on their Twitter account. The idle animation of the Dredge sometimes has Maurice's head dropping out of the void and getting sucked into it again. And the Dredge has also received a special skin that is themed after a horse, indicating in the memory of Maurice. On the same map, you also have the so-called Fortuneteller. You can go over to the Fortuneteller and you can hear a unique tune playing around it. Also, the Fortuneteller is sometimes moving around, but there's no special interaction that you can actually have with that Fortuneteller. On the other hand, if you want to have something that you can interact with, you just go over to these walls which have some open holes where you can place your character in front of it so that your face is sticking out of it. This is a pretty common attraction around circuses and also fairs. On the map Fractured Cowshed, you have a reference to Billy's lore. You will see the little room where Billy was held by his parents, and you can even see the rope which was being used to tie Billy against the wall so he couldn't escape. But as we know from the lore, Billy actually broke free and killed his parents. On the map Dead Dog Saloon, you also have some special interactions. If you go over to the noses and you finish the generator next to it, it is going to open up the trapdoors beneath them. And I've already seen some players actually pull off some cool stunts with that. Well, you can also be in the bar and drop from the stairs over on the kitchen counter. And if you're on the counter, well, sometimes you can play around this and dodge an attack or outplay the killer. It is just a nice thing to know and also maybe to use. A bit harder to use is actually the next thing. If you go up the staircase and you go over to this room, depending on the spawn of the map, it can be a closed off room, which means if survivors enter this, they have no way to get out except of the main entrance. Especially as the killer, you don't want to break down the door because this is a dead end for the survivor. The Garden of Joy has a very special feature which makes it also, well, scary. If you go over to this picture in the house and you hold your camera close to the picture, you can actually hear the screams, cries and agony of the people that lived in that house. I really don't want to know what Dredge did to them. On the map Ironworks of Misery, you can find this calendar inside of the Ironworks, and this calendar is marking the dates of the 1st and the 17th of January 1972. And if you guys are familiar with the lore, in 1972 the Cold Wind Massacre happened. So this is when Billy killed his family. The same calendar can also be found on the Autohaven records. Welcome to the map of the Treatment Theater, and for many survivors who play on this map for the very first time, it is very hard to orient themselves. It is an indoor map and generally it is harder to find generators on these maps. But this map offers you a little bit of help. You can find these signs in front of the different rooms. If the sign is not blinking at all, no generator is inside. If the sign is blinking in intervals, it actually means that the generator is inside and needs to be finished. And if the sign is on the whole time, there is a generator inside of it, which is already finished. Hopefully this will help you to navigate through the map. Now we go over to the Midwich Elementary School, and there are many secrets. For example, if you go over to this room, you have a body falling out out of the locker as a Jumpscare. This Jumpscare is a reference to the Silent Hill games, where a body is also falling out of the locker to scare the player. As Silent Hill fans, you will know also the Sirens from the game, and the Sirens can also be heard during the endgame collapse, just saying if you have not noticed. Another thing which reminds me of my childhood is when you go over to the bathroom, you can hear a little girl crying in the bathroom. The crying girl in the cabin is actually a reference to the Silent Hill games, where the same is true. Also very interesting to know is that you have a secret staircase that only the killer can open up. So if you broke the door on the upper floor and the door on the lower floor, you create a new passage where you can go faster from the lower to the higher floor. That's not everything. There's also a secret which is a reference to the Silent Hill games. You can open up the clock tower for a secret room. And for this to happen, you have to do the following. You need to finish 2 generators in a certain order. First is the generator in the chemistry room. You can find the chemistry room easily by the chemical period table outside of it. If you go inside, finish the generator, you can find that the golden medallion has been added to the left side of the clock tower. A little fun fact is also that the bell will toll, and also the time on the clock will change to 12 o'clock. If you then repair the generator in the music room, the bell will toll again, the time will change to 5 o'clock, and the second medallion, the silver medallion, is also added to the right side of the tower. Finally, you just have to trigger the endgame collapse and the secret door is going to open, and it just looks crazy. Little fun fact, the chest inside this tower has the possibility of having no item inside of it. It depends really on the order in which the generators have been repaired. Mount Ormond Resort has an Easter egg in plain sight. If you are inside the main building and you look up, you can find a giant Legion graffiti which was created by Jeff. I've played the map multiple times, but I only realized it after I have been told. Interestingly, Mount Ormond Resort is also one of the few maps where we do not know where the golden toolbox is. So if you have a lot of free time, feel free to look around the map and try to find it. On the map Temple of Purgation, you also have a unique element. If you finish the generator in the middle, which is downstairs, you will open up this special room. Also, once again, with an additional chest, you can open up the chest and get an item. On Rancid Abattoir, you can also find this empty room. And the funny thing about this empty room is that in the past you were able to teleport inside of it with the nurse. Unfortunately, this is not possible anymore, but still, you can look inside of it and it is empty. Do we have some Resident Evil fans here? Because on the map RPD you can hear the Resident Evil safe room music. You just go over to Chief Iron's office and you go next to the typewriter, put your camera next to it, and all of a sudden you can hear it. On Suffication pit, if you go over to the mining pit, you can actually find the place which Trapper has destroyed to trap all the miners inside and also kill them. It starts with I wanna play a game, but sometimes it is hard to find the generators to actually finish the game. So if you struggle on the game to find the generators, just look out for these giant metallic doors. On one side of these doors you can actually find the generators. If you finish up a generator, this giant door is also going to open up and you can go through it. Going over to the family residence of the Yamaoka estate, this map got released together with the spirit and was foreshadowing Oni. You can find the shrine with Oni's Oni mask, and shortly after, this killer also followed. And when Oni got released, he came with the map Sanctum Wrath, and Sanctum Wrath also has a secret. So if you look at the different figures which are standing there, you can also look away, change your position, look at them again, and they're following you with their look. and I think it adds to the scariness of this map. That's it guys, that were 25 map specific facts. If you have more facts, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'm also planning on making a second part with more facts. If you also enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you then in the next video. Bye bye.